So to untangle this web of problems, various methods have been tried out in the past, and if you look at it, in this slide I have tried to show various methods that have been used in software over the period of time. There is ISO 9000, there are spiral methods, CMI, Six Sigma, Agile modeling, waterfall, lean, and Scrum and all. But one thing that we'll note is that Scrum has been most popular of late, and this data is basically from first research collected in December 2008. So what is this Scrum about? Let us get into the detail. Let us try to understand what Scrum is all about and see how we can use it in our respective fields. The origin of Scrum actually is not from software industry as such, but it was actually, there were various other industries also facing similar problems, and they came out with the various techniques to deal with the situation. Problems, as I said, were same in different industries. They were missing the timelines, product quality was not that good, and in the market they were losing share and all. So there was a study conducted by Hirotaka and Nanaka, which they published in the Harvard Business Review in January, February 1986. And the paper that was published was titled The New Product Development Game. In this paper, actually, you can download this paper from the net. In this paper, actually, they have tried to investigate various types of methods and technologies and techniques and tools being used by the various industries for developing new products and delivering them in the market. And they found that the problem with most of the techniques was that the development was in a sequential manner. As a result, the timeline would get extended, things will come up at the last leg and they will not get addressed, and things like that, because components or parts of the project would get delivered, would get developed sequentially, and as new parts got developed, they would impinge upon the earlier developed parts, and then they would have to fix the impact of each other towards the end. So they looked at it, and then they suggested that there could be a method where one could start in parallel on independent parts, and so that all parts and components get developed in parallel, and towards the end they meet and they can then be joined together or integrated. So this is what they came out in this paper. The emphasis on this was on the speed and flexibility, as go to the market strategy required that, I mean, as product got developed, they reached the market as the demand was developing, not afterwards. And the traditional sequential layer or sequential method of relaying approach was not really meeting that. So they suggested that what they call actually the rugby approach, and that is where from this name Scrum has been taken. So in rugby, what happens that all the players are coming together and trying to take the ownership of the ball, and the process has been somehow compared with that, akin to that, and has been given the name Scrum. In context of software, Ken Schauber was one of the leading person who started practicing it. He came out with his own research paper, which he presented in the Uppsala 1996 conference, and also published in the American Programmers under the title Control Chaos Living on the Edge, in which he defined the Scrum process in more detail. He said that the Scrum software development process is basically an iterative incremental approach. So those are the key words actually. We must understand that iterative and incremental approach. And interaction with the environment, that is technology, computer, and user is allowed, which will change the project scope, technology, etc. And the Scrum accepts that the development process is unpredictable, and therefore the product is best possible successful only after if you give the flexibility to the team so that they can look at it from all aspects and come out with the best possible solution for that. There were other experts also working on this. Another prominent name which worked initially in this and is still active is Jeff Sutherland. He has also worked, he independently worked, and eventually Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland came together and they formed the Scrum Alliance, which has been providing training to people for Scrum practice. And actually, at the back of it, if we look at the history of the industry, on one hand, as I said, there was best practices coming from the other manufacturing industries, and at the same time, within the software industry, this agile movement was going on. And if you look at the deeper aspects of this Scrum process, we'll find that actually the roots are, in this case, also basically in the agile manifesto. And I have just for reference given here the Agile Manifesto. Actually, if you want to understand what exactly is given, you have to focus on the 4 points which are at the middle of this: transparency, individual and interaction over processes and tools. This is what is considered important. Working software is more important than comprehensive documentation. Customer collaboration is more important than negotiations. And responding to change is more important than following the plan. So idea was basically that in Agile, the focus was basically to deliver what is actually required instead of getting tangled with the processes involved in that, the artifacts required for that, and things like that. So if we study the Agile Manifesto and the corresponding 12 principles of Agile, we will see that most of them are used in this Scrum methodology. Anyway, we don't have to get confused with that, because as I said, I am also talking to people who are not from software exactly. So it doesn't matter if you